Right muckers, in this week's video we look at the John Deere 3350, and if you watch till the end I will tell you how you'll get a chance to win this lovely Case Puma 240 CVX model. That is a really nice one. But as I said, back to the 3350. Now it's currently on 13.624s, even though it should probably be on 16.9s, but originally when it came home it was on 12.428s, and I've got some 13.628s, but what we need to do is swap the roller titles. Right, so 3350. Now when these were about in the late 80s, early 90s, early on a lot of them came home with 18.438s on the rear and 12.428s on the front. Then the later ones were offered with the same sort of wheel equipment as the 3650, which was 18.4s on the rear and 16.924s on the front. Now, although the 24-inch rim is obviously smaller than the 28, the 16.9 being wider and having a bigger profile, it worked okay with the four-wheel drive. You know, there was enough plus or minus in the mechanical lead for it not really to affect it when it's in the field. And then when I was going to put new tyres on the front of this, I always had in mind of putting 16.9s on these 24-inch rims. But everyone has done that. And you know, as time has gone on, that's all you ever see on 3350s. They're all on 16.9s, or even wider with the modern metric equivalent. Because the nice thing about the 30, the 33 and the 3650, they were so light. You could add weight, but you could also take it off. And you know, one with nice wide tyres on is brilliant for top work and, you know, rolling and stuff like that. They just don't leave a mark for a 6-cylinder tractor. So as I said, you know, I was going to do that, put the 16.9s on, and I just thought, it's been done to death. Everyone's 3350 has got 16.924s on. And I wanted to go old school, and I thought, I want to have it like it came home, you know, the first day it actually came home from new, with the original owner. It was on 28s. Now admittedly, they were 12.428, so they're fairly narrow. But when I bought this, as I said, off the original owner, I got all the wheels with it as well. Bought all the wheels. So I've got duals for the rear, 18.4s. I've got these 13.624s, which I said I could have put the 16.9s on. But I also got the original 28-inch rims, the very rims it came home on. And I also got a set of 28-inch solid rims, which we used, you know, when it's on a sprayer. And the tyres on there, on the solid rims, are like 90%, they're like new. So I then thought, I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to get it, like I say, how she came home, old school, on 28s on the front, but rather than the 12.4s, I want to put on the 13.6 28. So it's got a bit more width, but because I always liked the way that like the 30 and 3350s used to seem to sit down on the back end and up at the front. And you don't get that with the 16.924s. So there we are, muckers, that's what I want to do. So in order to make it easier to change, bear with me, to change all the tyres over, I want to get these 24s off, put the original 28s on with the worn up 12.4s, and then we can get the tyres changed over off the solid centred spray rims, which are 13.6, so slightly wider.
What you talking about, Wiz?
And get those put on the original rims. It'll all become apparent. Anyway, these mudguards also, there's some homemade ones which did a job, and they're you know, really well made, but they just don't look very good. I've got some proper, genuine John Deere mudguards as well for the front. But the first thing we need to do is get the wheels and tyres, and after that we can start swapping these about. Right, just so you know what's what, these are the original rims that the 3350 came home on. And these are a separate set that they were used for spraying. Now you can see, obviously these are 12.4s, and these here, with these solid rims, they're 13.6s. All right, and overall, over the two tyres, you can see the difference. All right, so they're a bit wider. Now there sounds to be some water ballast in there. Yeah, there is a bit. These have obviously been ballasted in their time. There's not a lot in there, but as I say, you can hear there is water in there. There's stuff there, okay. Alright. John Deere brackets. I ain't really figured out what's what yet, but obviously they bolt onto there. And then the John Deere mud guards, which I've got, we'll have a look at them in a bit, will come up off here. But this is the proper thing that you have on a Deere. So yeah, jobs are good. But I'm not going to worry about mud guards for the moment. Now the other thing is, this is how they were. Now I want the dishes to be, because see, that's the actual dish. And they'll clean up quite nicely actually. And they don't look too sort of polished and new, which is good. And I just clean them up so they'll look in keeping. But I don't want the dishes that way. I want the dishes that way. But I think with the slightly wider tyres and having the rims with the lugs on the outside of the dish, she'll be actually sat out too wide. So what I'm going to do, and I think the way I like seeing them, is with the dish this way round, but on the outside of these lugs. So you see the dish, not the lug. The lug will be on the inside, but this way round with the offset. That way round. And then we want the dish inside out in there. So there we go, muckers. Back on her original 28-inch front rims. Right, as we said, these are 12.4 28s, not very wide and they're worn up. Hence why I put on the 13.6s, so they're wider, and obviously they've got a lot more meat on them. But yeah, I'd say she's within line of the rear wheels as well, so she's not sitting outside that. I like the way these dishes are dished, the dish inwards rather than sitting on the outwards. So that looks good as well, you know, for what I like, because that's how I remember seeing them. But I'll just show you the differences. Right, these are the tyres that are going to go on here, okay? Now I know you're thinking, well that's huge compared to these. Yeah, because that's got tread on. So don't forget, when this is on here, they'll only be that much taller, because obviously these are both, you know, completely worn out. But yeah, these are wider, so these are said 12.4s, these are 13.6s, these are 13.6s, but these are 28s. So they'll go on there, so we'll be wider, and she'll sit up a bit more then, because she'll have tread on there rather than be flat to the floor. Now, I know a lot of you out there will still sort of say, oh, I like seeing them on the 16.9 24s though, you know. At what point did you think I wasn't going to put a set of 16.9s on my 24-inch rims? I've got them, but it's a shame not to use them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some 16.9s on these, and I'm going to have the best of both worlds. I've got the original 28s with these new tyres. I'll get a set of 16.9s put on the 24-inch rims. Yeah, happy days. Spoilt for choice. So there we go, muckers. There's the 24s. There's the original 28s.
there's the solid rim 28s, but with the new tyres. So as we said, they're onto there, and 16.9s put onto there. But yeah, that's old school, and that's what, as I said, I want to set up on with them. New front fenders on there, fantastic. But as I said, we'll get them changed over next, and I'll show you how that goes, and we'll see what she looks like once they are on there. What's that? They're the front mudguards for the John Deere. Oh, that? Oh, that's another story.
So, there we go. What happens when I'll get the front tyres swapped over, I'll keep you updated with that, and we'll also then put those new front fenders on, the John Deere ones. And then we'll look at other bits that we've got to do, that's still left to do on the old 3350. Now, muggers, as a lot of you already know, George Saunders and I have got a joint channel which is called Talking Point, and obviously we haven't been able to film much because of things happening in the world in the last sort of 18 months, but we've started being able to put stuff up on there again.
Your grain out of the straw, you can put those on a steeper angle and it'll accelerate the straw out faster. Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of you also have asked how Ben is, Dino. He's great, he's doing well, but he's working hard, and the other thing is he's got a family, don't forget, all right? And with everything else that's been going on, he's got to care for them as number one, as his first priority. So that sort of limits the amount of time he has for filming. But he, dare say he will be appearing in some future videos. But in the meantime, muckers, we're going to be having some special guests on Talking Point, and also that may include some of you out there that'll be able to join us when we're doing some filming days. All right. Now, the other thing is, Starting Tractors, who we went and saw the combine with, very, very kindly given us this lovely Case Puma 240 CVX model. That is a really nice model, muggers. All right. So we can give it away to one of you lot. Now, all you got to do to be with the chance of winning that is you've got to be subscribed to this channel, obviously, and you've got to be subscribed to Talking Point, and just give both this video and the Talking Point one a like. Your name will go in the hat, and I'll just draw out a name at random and say, as long as you're both subscribed to both channels, then yeah, one of you will win that lovely model, and that will be announced who won that in the next video. But thanks again to the guys at Starting Tractors, because as always they looked after us really well. Now, muckers, question time. Have a little think about this. Now, if you had to choose one tractor, right, to go in, let's just say the Science Museum in London or the Smithsonian in the USA, what would that be, muckers, and why? Now, I'm not just talking about, oh, this tractor changed the world in farming. It could be anything. It could be some innovation that one tractor had, or the contribution to world agriculture that a tractor made, or some transmission or engine, or just muckers. What would you put? If you wanted to say, look, this tractor is an absolute icon for this reason, what tractor would you put in those museums and why? Put your answers in the old squid pit below, and we'll see what you come up with. So there we go, muckers. Don't forget to check out the combine vid on Talking Point, and don't forget to look at, say, last week's video and read through the comments section. Just read something, because I say there's some fantastic answers there. Is it that time again? Well, muckers, apparently time to go. So until the next one, do well.